Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Aluminum Tarot. We're going to pick up from where we left off here. I'm just going to do the whole bloody reading all over again because the light switched off. I'm having a rough patch right now, but things are going to come through. And additionally, I've got a lot on my plate in life these days, but that should not stop me from being able to get out these readings and to deliver these messages as they see fit. We're going to just start right from the beginning. So thanks so much for joining. If you like what you see here, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, ding that notification bell. Share your own personal experiences as to how this reading resonates with you in your life. If you'd like to buy me a coffee or something like that, feel free to send a few quid over and put that in the PayPal list in the description box below. Cut out anyone who sends you WhatsApp or Telegram or WeChat or Line or any of them types of messaging app things that say, okay, yeah, I'd love to give you a personal reading. Just click on the link below or dial this number. I don't do personal readings. If you want to be a sucker on the internet, follow the WhatsApp, follow the Telegrams, but it's a plague and a pox upon the entire tarot community for a lot of the people who are doing these things, and I think it's just time that we just get wised up to it, that personal readings do not belong in the comments section, or if people are stealing content, it's important to understand where it's coming from. That said, I'm not going to rant or bitch or complain about it anymore. Let's go ahead and get on with the reading. So I'm doing the reading for Cancer for the month of October 2025. This is going to be from the 1st until the 31st of the month. And I'm just going to read the cards that I pulled previously before the light switched off and I lost my metal. Anyways, so we have the first card. This is your energy. This is the Apprentice or the Fool in reverse. And this is normally about someone who is refusing to take a risk on something, delaying their new start, their new beginning, not taking a leap forward on something that they feel may be not worth the risk. And the reason for this is the challenge that we have is the Six of Cups in the reverse. By the way, I'm using the Steampunk Tarot and Lenormand. I love this deck. It's arguably my favorite deck in the whole tarot community. We're going to go straight into this. So when we have the Six of Cups and the Fool in the reverse, we're looking at someone who has essentially refused to take a risk on something because of negative energies or negative thoughts from the past. And like many Cancerians, I say this with experience with people who have been Cancerians. So maybe cliche, may not. Oh well. When we are dealing with this type of energy, this is about holding too tightly to the past and into things that are pretty much outdated, no longer serves a purpose in our lives. And like the hermit crab, which carries its house on its back, Cancerians can move mountains, or they can actually bury themselves into the sand, just like a normal hermit crab. It's really up to the Cancerian to know when to let go. That is their greatest strength and their worst enemy, because the Cancer, they represent the depths of the human spirit and the depths of the human soul. And in essence, they're also attached to memory. So they're the ones who are the historians. They're the ones who are the mothers and all of that, because they are the progenitors of the long tie, our umbilical cord back to all of the things from the past. And sometimes it's important for us to just cut that cord so that we can be independent and free and reduce the weight that we carry throughout our lives. And in this particular reading, the Cancer that I'm speaking to is refusing to cut that cord. So whatever negative experiences you've had from the past, it's time for you to let that go. That's what this is clearly telling me at this particular point in time. What we have here, in the recent past, we had the Five of Wands in the reverse. And what this speaks to us about is it speaks to us about letting go of conflict, competition, anxiety, things that are quite charged up, like quite a few arguments, a lot of nasty hostilities, things of that nature, competitiveness, pettiness, things of that nature that you're trying to release and let go. And this is clarified by the Two of Swords in the reverse and the Ace of Pentacles, which tells us a lot about, hey, perhaps it's time for us to bury the hatchet. Two of Swords in the reverse. When the swords are buried in the ground, especially in the reverse, that normally means that that energy has been nullified. And what it's telling us is that we have come to, a period of reconciliation. You can even see it in this card here, that the two people are completely different. They're actually looking to bury the hatchet. Whatever hostilities they've had with each other, wars or whatnot, that's telling them they're doing this. And they're doing this by offering something of value, of lasting value. So perhaps in recent past, if you have tried your best to, reconcile with someone by offering them something of, substance, something of lasting value, like a house, or perhaps giving them, a necklace or something like a forget-me-not, a souvenir of sorts. Maybe this is the easiest way that you can kind of bury the hatchet with them. So if you've been arguing with a spouse and you want to say, okay, let's just let bygones be bygones, you give them a necklace, you propose to them, you get married, you try to do something that's going to reconcile that difficult energy. Now, in the near future, what I see here is the Six of Wands. Now, the Six of Wands came on its side, and this is the Six of Wands here in this deck. It tells us a lot about wanting to have a victory with someone, but that victory is not quite realized to its fullest potential. And I'll clarify this just to be sure. Clarify the Six of Wands. There we go. So we have the Queen of Wands in the reverse. There's almost like this nagging feeling that I get in this reading, where it's like you want to put that best foot forward to try to see if you can get things to work out between you and someone else. It could either be you and a job, it could be you and an employee, it could be you and a spouse, whatnot. But in the near future, it's like I feel like you're not quite sure that this is all going to be worthwhile or worth the effort, because with the Queen of Wands in the reverse and the Six of Wands on its side, it's like you're trying to take the action, but what's happening instead is that you're feeling like either you've got imposter syndrome, or that maybe this wasn't a good idea. So there's this doubting Debbie within your mind, or doubting Thomas, as you would like to say it. I feel that because at the core of your energy is the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords always talks about, dealing with a lot of negative mental energy, being stuck in your head, being plagued by the same horrible experiences that you've had, or the same horrible thoughts that you linger upon. So this is like the person who has the never-ending nightmare. And for them, it's just kind of like, is this going to work out? And then you start to feel your mind racing at 100 miles an hour, trying to sort things out, trying to understand and analyze it from all sorts of angles and such. And it can really take a toll on someone's mental health when they do that, or to be in that place for too long. Clarify. Nine of Swords. Again, I'm getting energy here. This is Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. Clarifying the Knight of Swords is again energy that talks about, is this really worth it? Am I going to be successful? And furthermore, is this going to be worth the cost of failure? Normally when we have the Six of Wands, if it's in the reverse, it normally talks about failure or a lack of attention or a lack of progress in something that you find is going to be very important to you. The Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, clarifying the Nine of Swords, that definitely tells me that there is a reticence, there's a doubt that this is going to actually be worthwhile. And but you're doing it anyway. It's kind of like feel the fear and do it anyway, even if you are deathly afraid of failing. Page of Pentacles, clarify Page of Pentacles. Okay, so you have the Page of Pentacles as what's known. This is what you're consciously aware of. However, it is also clarified by the Ace of Wands in the reverse. And this does tell the tale of someone who has taken small steps to make progress, but again, they're afraid of a false start. It's almost like you're not fully in it. Someone's heart is not really fully in this. And I'm wondering, with whatever Cancer saga that's been taking place for the last year on and off that I've been reading tarot on the internet, we find that, there's a desire to reconnect with someone. That desire is not met with a full 100% effort or a full 100% passion behind it. The Ace of Wands in the reverse, that can definitely talk about a loss of passion. So it's almost like, yeah, okay, let's make this work. This is what I'm familiar with. This is what I'm comfortable with. Let's get married because that's what our parents would expect for us to do. Let's take this contract. Let's try not to quit this job because, I need the money and things hopefully will work out if I just, keep my head down and keep my nose to the grindstone as normal. That is definitely like, it's almost like robotic almost in a sense. With this Page of Pentacles here, we have the number 11. The number 11, I believe, is a master number, or at least it's a number that signifies being connected with your head and heart, mind and body. It's the Aquarius number, of course, 11th sign of the zodiac. And ask yourself, what are you manifesting? What is it that you're trying to lay a foundation for? It appears to me that this Ace of Pentacles that took place in the past is now within the hands of the page, and the page is relaying this to the person that they are planning to use these new skills and talents with. Now, in your case, if this is a reconciliation with someone, you're taking that solid foundation and you're deciding how you're going to build it, but you're not really sure exactly how this is going to start. Now, if I read it in the context of the Ace of Wands in the reverse, it can sometimes talk about people who are having false starts. But in this case, it's like I have this page, I have this pentacle, I have this firm foundation. I'm not really sure what the fuck to do with it right now. And maybe the foundation isn't ready to be poured yet. Maybe in this case, there's a delay in getting things off the ground because there's a bit of kind of energy that I feel like it's like I don't really know what I'm doing with this. Pages tend to be very inexperienced when it comes to learning how to master the suit that they are affiliated with. So, for example, a Page of Swords just kind of swings their sword around wildly, and they're just like, yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to give you that paper cut there. It's only a flesh wound, like in Monty Python. They are learning how to master those suits. Page of Swords is learning how to master the suit of swords, and they make some bumbling mistakes in that process. And then you have the Page of Pentacles, which is learning how to master practicality and being studious and seeing things through the end. But with the Ace of Wands there in the reverse, it almost seems like you're making the effort to do it, but it's just not really working itself out. Now I'm going to clarify the last bit of it. Clarify judgment. Clarify judgment. Okay, and again, we have yet again another confirmation that there's a bit of half-heartedness to a lot of this process. You have judgment. I don't know if I can show a lot of that because there are some boobs on that, so I apologize to the YouTube overlords. But we also have the 7 of Cups. Again, that second chance, that reconciliation, which is typically the judgment call. It's up to you where this is going to go. Don't get confused along the way. Don't get led down the garden path in order for this to work out. You're either in this or you're not in this. And I do believe that it's up to you to really determine which path this is all going to take. If this is a job and you're staying for the comfort and the security, it's time for you to get clear on what your goals are going to be. If this is a marriage, ask yourself, is this going to be the right marriage that leads to my happiness, or am I just doing this out of familiarity? And familiarity does breed contempt, as they say. Is this going to be a group of friends in which I'm getting involved in this, and these friends are going through the same troubles, causing the same problems in my life, but because I'm so afraid of cutting ties with these people, because I'm afraid of being alone, or I'm afraid of having to go out and search for new people to hang out with, perhaps, I'll just stay in my own little comfortable bubble. Advice. So, we have here number 33. I think this has come out for some of the other signs. This is the Lenormand deck for the steampunk. And it often talks about unlocking the secrets to certain things, being able to connect with the inner world within, opening things, revealing things to yourself. What this is saying is that it's potentially, in the future, you might find out the answers that you need as to whether or not this is worth it or not. What I don't want you to have to do is to face a tower moment in order to realize what this is truly concerning. Say, for example, you go to a job and you say, okay, well, I'll just accept it. Let's get back into this, and not really sure if I want to be here, but I don't want to miss a payment on my mortgage or any of that. And then all of a sudden you lose your job. Then it's kind of like the universe saying, well, this is the answer that you were looking for. You get involved in a marriage, you decide that you're going to go in for the long haul, and then all of a sudden you find, your wife just deep throating your best mate, and I'm just like, okay, well, I kind of felt this was going to happen, and maybe like if you were with your best friends or whatnot, and you're just like, okay, I'm going to hang out with these people because I'm afraid of being alone. And then you wake up one day and your friends stolen your wallet. Your house is broken into. They've cleaned out everything. And the last people was that Tom and Brad were the ones that came over to your place to hang out and play Xbox. And now your Xbox is gone. So that said, think about this carefully. I'm going to leave it at this because I don't want to ramble and banter on too much. But thank you so much. This has been Aluminum Tarot. If you like what you see here, please be sure to give a like, share, subscribe, ding that notification bell so you don't miss any updates from future postings. And as always, I appreciate your time, energy, and attention to this channel. For the 7 or 10 of you out there, I do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I'm sincere about that. No cap. Anyways, that's going to be it for now. Before my brain shuts down for tonight, I'm going to get through with the last 2 readings for October so that we can have this all sorted out. Thank you so very much. And until next time, love and light. Bye now.